There it is, guys. This is game one in this best of three between Jim, our blue Protoss here in the 7 o'clock position, representing TyLoo, against his opponent in the 5 o'clock position, Sen, our red Zerg representing Gamma Bears. Now, Sen, of course, is a pretty big powerhouse internationally. Does pretty well at lots of LAN events around the world. Of course, hails from Taiwan. And I don't know, man. I feel like if I had to guess one person to win the Chinese qualifier, I'd say it'd be Sen. Could be wrong, but he's going to be up against Jim, Jim's a guy who the last time I saw him at like the BlizzCon Chinese qualifiers, he really didn't look that impressive, but has been definitely playing quite a bit better in the Star Wars 7 qualifiers thus far. If I remember correctly, he did have to beat out his teammate Infi in an earlier round. I hope I'm remembering that right. So let's see how he does against them. We are on Shakura's Plateau. Generally, traditionally favored Protoss. But you never know. So many trends have changed on this map. It's been around for so long that it's seen so many different styles of each matchup. So it's hard to look at statistics when you're in that kind of a situation. Looks like Jim's scout can get over here. See a 13 pool going out from Sen. Interesting choice. So a 13 pool as opposed to a 15 pool kind of indicates he wants to get his lings out early enough to force a forge first. If you go for a 15 pool, a Protoss can easily go Nexus first and then drop their forge gateway, blah blah blah. And they're totally safe. So instead, with a 13 pool timing, you won't have your cannon and your wall off in time. And that forces the forge first. So just this Sen choosing a nice little opener that's maybe not quite as economic for himself, but puts his opponent a little bit further behind where he could have been. On a map when you generally, the safety of this small ramp, you generally do want to get that Nexus first out. So nice moves already from Sen. And Jim is going to go ahead and pylon block that natural. Just kind of delay the expansion here from Sen. We'll see if he doesn't cancel, so is going to force Sen to bring some lings over and kill that off. We'll see if Sen just goes for a quick third somewhere elsewhere, or if he is going to wait to kill that pylon and take a hatchery. For now, chasing around that probe, wants to make sure there's no forward pylons going up for any cannon rushes or anything crazy like that. And there's our Nexus from Jim. Let's see if he drops cannon or gateway first. It'd be pretty ballsy to drop gateway. There it is. Cannon first. Going to play it safe. I'm curious if we're going to see another pylon or gateway, because sometimes you want the other pylon so you can continue your probe production once this pylon dies. But the gateway allows you to tech a little bit quicker, so it's a trade-off. Looks like it's going to be the gateway. He wants to be able to tech up quickly, get a nice warp gate timing perhaps. Well, we'll have to wait and see. Maybe a nicer Stargate timing. Any of his tech will be, just a little bit quicker. He's hiding his probe, but there are not a lot of hiding spots that are still kind of secret nowadays. Pretty much all of them have been figured out on this map, so Sen should be able to find that. And it looks like he does want to go 3-hatch, no gas. He's immediately sending that drone over to that third base. It's going to be taken. Will Jim scout it is the question. If the lings prevent it from being scouted, that's a huge deal. Swall off is totally fine. Doesn't need to do anything about it. He has double gas on the way. Completely standard transition here from Jim. And the probe does scout the hatchery. That is huge. He will die to lings, but he served his purpose. We'll be able to telepathically report that information back to Jim. Doesn't have to return home, although he will choose to be able to actually mine. And this Overload getting into a great position for Sen to be able to watch for the double gas of the natural. That's what's really important, is watch for those gas timings that the Protoss is going for. Should just see total droning from Sen, Queen production. And then double gas around that 6-minute mark. If he wants to play standard, kind of early roach defense style. Currently, though, all chronos from Jim just going straight into Nexuses. Do I have music off? I did, didn't I? I was like, sounds so quiet and lonely right now in this cast. Not just because it's a solo cast. And there's the third gas going down for Jim. Let's see if he goes for Stargate play as a result. We'll see if he adds on that fourth gas once he feels he has the probe count to really support it. He does have +1 on the way and warp gate, so this could be a +1 4 gate warp. +1 4 gate with Void Ray. Could be. Maybe not. Third gas doesn't indicate it would just be +1 4 gate, but you could do that with a Void Ray. Sometimes you do it even with just 2 gas, though, on that, so we'll have to wait and see. There's the Stargate on the way, though, so that could be the choice. It's a great build. It's kind of outdated, though. I mean, it's a build that a lot of people were doing for a long time, and it was so effective at killing off the thirds that Zergs would go for. But then Zergs kind of got better with their timings. They got Roaches out earlier. They got that 6-minute double gas with like a 720. Oh my god, he doesn't have gas, though. Sen, no gas at 6:30 mark. So this could be pretty scary. He's not going to be relying on Roaches at all. Just lings without speed, queens, spines, spores, anything he can build like that. There's his double gas, though, on the way at the natural. Just putting it the natural to kind of fake out Jim in case Jim like sends up a probe to scout and it doesn't get up in the main. He sees double gas. He might think he's like Russian Muta or something. And he is adding 3 more gates. He's got there we go. 3 more gates. It's going to be a +1 4-gate Void Ray. But I don't know. Like I said, Zergs have been having a pretty easy time dealing with this. Then again, Sen's overall gas is going to be pretty late. His Roach Warren, not too late actually. His Roach Warren was put down at a pretty decent timing for when that gas was. That just means he's not getting an Evo Chamber. He's not going to have upgrades. So you won't have like the +1 Carapace or +1 attack, but he should still have his Roaches out in time. He'll be able to make spores if he feels the need. He hasn't actually scouted what his opponent's doing, but the Overlord's going to get in now and see the 3 additional gateways. Won't see that very well hidden Stargate, but he saw the 3rd gas, so he knows that's a possibility. And when he sees 3 additional gateways and a 3rd gas, no robo or anything like that, he's got to be wondering what's going on. He should know. He should have a pretty darn good idea of what he's up against, especially with this force moving out. He's going to try to take out the probe, try to make pylons, prevent that, and he will be able to pick off the probe. Nice move by Sen. Only 1 pylon can be able to be up here, and if he ever kind of gets the Zealots out of position, he might even be able to pick that off. Maybe even Roaches on the upper ground, something like that. He is starting to set up a spine at his 3rd. So knowing that that's going to be the point of contention with the pylon placed over there, he's going to just set up some extra defenses and a spore. So he's definitely caught on to the fact that it's going to be Void Ray play. I don't know if he saw the Void Ray moving across the map. There it is in his main base. That's why. And Jim's just going to lose all this. Although this queen's going to go down for Sen. Where are his additional queens? I guess he already lost them, and he doesn't have any spores up there. Meanwhile, Zealot's moving into the space. He needs to get his Roaches over there. But the problem is he has to deal with this 4 pylon over here into the main. Oh man, I didn't even see it go up. That is so annoying for him to deal with that upper ground vision that the Void Ray provides. And just this multi-pronged aggression is fantastic. The Zealots will be picked off, but a nice way to just kind of apply pressure in multiple locations here from Jim. Unfortunately, the Sentry choice, it could have been a good choice because it would have been like, oh, I'm going to force field your ramp, you can't get back in. But unfortunately, Sen was too quick to react. Already had Roaches up in the base, and then the Sentries just end up being wasted gas. Zealots end up being wasted minerals in this case. Roaches, like once Roaches are out, Zealots just are, they are just, well, I don't know what to say besides waste of minerals, man. You just throw them away. That's all they do. Roaches just kite away. You lose everything. Queens should be able to pick off that those pylons. Look at that. Look at their spit. It's like curving around. They've like mastered gravity perfectly. They're shooting like a little parabola arc of their spit. They have to do like trigonometry before they actually shoot it to figure out where it's going to land on the pylon, but they're really good at aiming. And here comes this Zealot Void Ray attack into the natural, but there's a spore, there's Roaches, there's 2 queens. I really can't see this being too effective, but then again, there's a 3rd Void Ray. That's kind of scary. Kinda. He is adding on a robo, maybe he'll get an observer and try to take out some of this creep thread. Maybe he'll check into Colossi. No 3rd base just yet from Jim, but he is up to 4 gas. And he's up to 6 gateways total, so going to be going up to quite a lot of units off 2 bases here. When the 2 base pressure fails at first, go all in. I mean, hey, if you try to take a 3rd right now, you're just going to get killed by max Roaches, so why not? 5 pylons unfortunately got pretty badly supply locked there, but well, I want to say it's not a big deal, but I mean, when you're doing an all-in, every supply block is a pretty big deal. But here comes an attack from Jim over here at the 3rd, where there's only a couple of Roaches here from Sen. He's got the rest of them sitting in the middle of the map, so without Roach speed done just yet, he has a little bit of trouble dealing with this multi-pronged aggression. He's just going to charge and target fire the hatchery, a cool move. But there's going to be enough energy for a transfuse. He should be able to keep this alive just barely. If he does transfuse, and he keeps the hatchery alive. Great play by Sen, and that, just think about how much of a waste that is for Jim. Like, he just threw away a lot of units to try to get the hatchery, which means he wasn't even killing units of Sens in the process. He was just doing damage to a hatchery, which is just going to be regened naturally and by transfuses from these 5 queens. So it's looking pretty bleak right now for Jim. He's going to go up to Colossi, which, not a bad move, but when the Zergs are already on 3 base with 6 gas this whole time, it's just not a big deal for them, They can see what you're doing, just send in an Overlord and counter it pretty easily. Then again, if he doesn't counter it, if he doesn't see it happening, he just has Roaches and he doesn't have like a Spire or Infestors or anything, and Colossi come out, maybe he'll be able to make this successful. But Jim doesn't even have any Stalkers. He just has like Zealot Sentry with an Immortal. Doesn't have a Twilight for continued upgrades or Blink or anything like that. So he just really doesn't have what he needs against the 1-1 we're going to have here from Sen with a ton of Roaches. And he is going to get Lair Tech finally. That's pretty darn late, 13-minute Lair, but that's alright. He was defending what he thought to be a bit of an all-in. So he was just, playing it extra safe. So we'll be able to get Roach speed. Look at all that gas and minerals he's got banked up. Insane to be able to make tons of whatever the hell he wants. Might even go Muta. Sometimes that's what players do in this situation. You know, your lair's late. It's kind of annoying to then get like infestors and try to get roach speed and stuff. So just drop the Spire, use all that gas you got saved up to just get an insane amount of mutas. Well, I don't know. We'll see if he goes for that or not. He's got Lings checking around, making sure there's no expansions going up from Jim. Very nice play. You never want to let the Protoss kind of get up an expansion, because if you're not paying attention, and then all of a sudden you send your roaches over, and they already have like 12 cannons up or something, well, you're not going to be able to break their expansions. So good job by Sen, just keeping the map control. He is going to see this push moving out from Jim, but Jim moving out, this is so bold. 1 Colossus. I mean, I guess it adds a little bit of utility, but it's really not that much damage. He's got a pretty decent sentry count, 5 sentries, although for this map, that's not that many. It's pretty wide open, and looks like Sen's going to go for engagement with a big surround. Excellent positioning by him. He's got queens in this engagement as well. He can transfuse roaches, he can transfuse queens, he can attack the void rays with them. He's going to use all his transfuses on queens to keep them alive against the void rays. Nice move. Great transfuses on that queen so far. Keeping them alive even against the charged voids. They do so much burst damage. Well, I guess it's sustained, but it does really happen quite quickly. He's got to be careful, though. He needs to land some more transfuses, or these void rays are going to get out of hand. He might want to target fire down that Colossus. Right now his Roach is just kind of on attack move. Sen actually in a little bit of trouble right now. Oh my god, is this going to be the miracle comeback from Jim? What has Sen been doing this whole time? Was he macroing? He's got 1,400 gas in the bank he can't use for anything. Pulling drones against the Colossus army. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Is Jim actually going to win this game? Maybe not. The Roaches are just, the reinforcements I think are just going to be too much here. And the Void Ray count, you know, if he still had like 5 Void Rays left, not enough queens would be able to spawn to deal with that. But with only 1 Void Ray, the queen should be able to spawn to deal with that. He's going to lose some drones in the process. This is a little bit sloppy, a little bit ugly. But Sen should be able to overpower this composition, take it out, especially with the Colossus dying now. And there's no third base behind this from Jim. No third whatsoever. So, as long as Sen doesn't lose too many drones, 52 drones, 51 probes. Remember, he's got 4 bases, so he can easily make like 40,000 drones at once. And then just check up to whatever he wants. And Blink Stalker, well, he doesn't have Blink, never mind. So he's at 1-1 with no Blink on these Stalkers against Roaches. That's just not going to work out well for you. Nice try, though, by Jim. Really catching Sen in an odd timing he wasn't expecting. Because who moves out with 1 Colossus, right? No one. Especially on Shakuris, where you're so spread out. It's not like you can just use your Colossus in some little choke point like this. If you're in a wide open area, it's really not adding that much to you. And he almost took the game, but Sen did barely defend. Maybe just got a little bit cocky, taking his 4th base and getting lair at the same time. With such a late lair timing, you really got to remember that you have pretty delayed tech. You need to pick a ton of units. Oh my god, a Manor Hatchery here. Sen just kind of playing with his opponent. Man, that was a pretty close game for him to just kind of make fun of Jim with this hatchery here. I don't know. Sen's got to be careful. I think that's what we saw from him too in some of the earlier rounds. Was like, we'd have these close games, then he would get really cocky and go for these really bold moves. But it works out for him and he wins. So, you know, winning with style is great. It's great for the fans. In any case, Jim is actually building up a pretty big immortal count. Look at that. Not building any Colossi. I wonder if he was thinking that Sen would actually like build Corruptors because he saw the first Colossus. But no, he's just going to build immortals. He's up against pretty much pure Roach, so that's good. But, I mean, there's a lot of Speedlings in there as well. It's a couple Queens. And what is Sen doing for tech? He doesn't even have an infestation pit to be able to go up to Hive, let alone get infestors. And he has the Hydrogen, but I guess he's not mining gas here. That's okay, because he has so much in the bank, but I don't know, man. It feels like he's just using Roaches and doesn't want to actually go up to higher tech units, which could be could kind of play into Jim's hands, maxing out Immortals. But he's still only got, oh my god, he's pulling his probes. I guess he built extra probes that was oversaturated since his main was starting to get mined out. He's going to pull probes into his army to try to help out. He's got some Zealots in here, but they're getting a little bit choked up. His Stalkers, remember, they don't have Blink. They just have 1-1. 3 Immortals doing a lot of damage. He's got Guardian Shield on this army. The force fields are pretty decent, especially with those Zealots in front in the area where he let the Roaches in. But I don't think it's going to be enough. He's getting surrounded from all angles. Sen is going to shut down this force. He knew. Sen, so much smarter than I am, knew that since Jim didn't have a third base, like, that's the only time you got to be scared. There's a GG, so Sen does take it 1-0. The only time you got to be scared and really accelerate your tech is when you know the Protoss is actually succeeding in taking a third base. Then you have to be like, oh, crap, he's going to have 6 gas. He can actually build up quite a lot of scary units. I might need to either go Muta to try to keep him busy and contain him and do some harassment damage, or get some quick infestors out and try to go up to Broodlord. But when your opponent is still on 2 base, just get that roach speed, max out on roaches, just go roach sling and play it safe and just shut down the all-in that you know is the only choice your opponent has. Good play by Sen, and he's up 1-0. We're going to go into game number 2, see if he can continue it, or if Jim's going to be able to make a comeback here, guys. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back after this quick commercial break.